Hello, welcome to the super important show. On tonight's show, finger guns, they really do work. Animals are attacking again, and we decide how much cursing we like. The answer is a lot. I'm your host, Dusty Adato, and I want to introduce you to two amazing people that are going to be with me tonight. First up, Heather Jules Booth. Heather Jules Booth, how are you doing?
I'm fucking great.
Thank you for cursing.
You're welcome.
It makes me happy.
You're welcome.
And our special guest tonight, the always delightful Tony DeFeo. Tony, how are you?
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm having a rootin' tootin' good time.
Tony, I love the you're here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I instinctually did it from just seeing talk shows and stuff. There's always a hi.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. So
like
good.
a creepy enthusiastic doll.
Nice. Tony, let people know what's your deal. Who are you? What's going on?
What's my deal? That sounds like a date I would be on. What's your deal? Who are you? My name is Tony DeFeo. I'm a Los Angeles-based human being. I play the bass. I guess I have to talk about it because it's right here. That's where it hangs next to my computer. And yeah, I'm a comedian. I'm a writer. I'm an actor. And I am a very enthusiastic, super important show host. And I'm also on TikTok. I feel like I have to say that now. Just like the times we live in. Yeah. TikToker extraordinaire, Esquire. I'm a lawyer on TikTok.
Nice. You guys want to get right into it? You want to get into our wacky stories of the day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's have some fun.
We're gonna do that with World You Crazy. Heather, how is the world crazy today?
Oh, Dustin, I'm so glad you asked that question. Here's what's going on today. A Japanese city is alarmed by biting, clawing, attacking monkeys.
Of course it is.
Yes, it
Of
is.
course it is.
I'd be alarmed too.
Yeah. Did you get, by the way, Dustin, did you line up the picture? Because the picture is pretty great.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Where's the picture?
It's okay. It's in the article. Just imagine a picture of a little monkey peeking in through the bottom half of a door that kind of looks like it would be a cat door. And it has an ominous look on its face. So in Tokyo, people in a from Tokyo, people in a southwestern Japanese city have come under attack from monkeys that are trying to snatch babies, bite and claw their flesh, and sneak into nursery schools. I will tell you that at this point, when I read this story, this is when I sent the link to Dustin and I said, "World, you crazy story?" There have been 58 attacks on people since July 8th. The Yamaguchi City Hall has hired a special unit to hunt the animals with tranquilizer guns. They say that the monkeys are not interested in food, so traps with food haven't worked. They are targeting, buckle up, children and the elderly. Yeah.
Dicks.
Yeah.
Those monkeys are dicks.
It says that.
My God.
Yeah, so it says that they sneak up and attack from behind, often grabbing at your legs. There are instructions what to do if confronted by one of these monkeys. The instructions
Thank
are...
God.
Yes, Tony, I know. So prepare yourself. Do not look them in the eye. Make yourself look as big as possible, such as by spreading open your coat, and then back away as quietly as possible without making sudden moves. Now, I just want to point out that mentally what that's making me think is that you're wearing a large trench coat, and like a flasher, or like the people who sell things out of coats, you're supposed to not make eye contact and go. And then slowly back away into bushes. Like that thing.
The Homer Simpson?
Yes, thank you.
But unlike a flasher, you're not supposed to make eye contact.
Right. So it says there was a woman who was
Wait,
assaulted.
you're supposed to make eye contact with a flasher?
I mean, a seasoned
you
pro,
don't-
I would imagine. I guess it's whatever your thing is. I don't know.
No, yeah, if a flasher looks at you and starts to flash, like Dustin, do you choose to look into their eyes or do you choose to look at what they're flashing? I mean, that's the question.
Imagine a flasher flashes you and then looks at the ground all timid. It's like, grow up. Grow up.
Flash, it's just hey,
dude, why did you even come out here today?
Just
Right,
cool?
because they're
Cool?
just like, I don't know what you think about this, but what do you think about this? That's what they're trying to
That's
do.
not the kind of flashing I admire.
So there is a kind of flashing that you admire.
Oh my
Good to know.
God.
Very particular. It's very particular. You're probably not doing the kind I like.
Okay, I am not. I guarantee you that I am not doing the type of flashing that you like, given my lack of flashing
Oh my
altogether.
God. These monkeys. Wait, Heather, you found this story. What was your initial reaction to this story? Like, did you think it was a joke? Because I thought it was like Japanese. I thought it was like folklore.
So I saw the headline, and of course I clicked on it because I was like, what? Then I saw the picture, and I was like, what am I looking at? And then I started reading it, and when I saw snatch babies biting and clawing, I was like, that's it, we got to do this story. And then I got to the point where it said they're only targeting children and the elderly, and I was like, this is officially the strangest thing I've ever read. And it's real, and apparently they don't know why it's happening.
Because they're trying to take over. Right?
I have become obsessed with this show called Old Enough. I'm watching it on Netflix. Does anybody know what it is?
No.
It's a show where adorable little Japanese children are sent on errands by themselves, like to the store.
Oh, I've heard about that.
And
yes.
and they have trials and tribulations. Like one time, a little boy has a cooler of fish, and the cooler breaks, and he has to figure it out by himself. I can't imagine what happens if a monkey attacks.
I mean, I don't want a child to be attacked by a monkey, but like, there's a part of me that's like, what
But
would
like a little
happen
bit,
if
you
that
do.
happened?
Like a little bit.
I mean,
What do you think they want the children for? Like, is it fucked up to ask that question?
no, it's not, because here's the thing, Tony. Like, if they were only targeting just children, I would think like they're looking to play and they think that the children are other small monkeys and it's like a mistaken thing. But now you're throwing the elderly in, who I assume are normal human-sized people.
But they're littler. Usually
Yeah, but
elderly
I don't
people
think
are
they're
littler.
that little, that they're child-sized. So I'm like, why is it, like, why? Why? Yeah, I don't know.
Because they can take them. I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like, the monkeys are smart enough to know, like, who they can beat in a fight. So, of course you're
maybe. The only other thing I can think of is like, and they don't say this in the story, but is there a chance that both the children and the elderly are carrying food more than like young to middle-aged people? I don't know. But I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the connection here?
That's a good point. They do have the snacks. Little kids
Right?
and the elderly are the
I
ones
feel
who
like
have
they're the ones
snacks.
with snacks. It's
Right.
the only thing I can think of.
Maybe they like butterscotch candy.
This is like one of those stories where I want to come back in a couple weeks and hope to have like updates that we can revisit, because I'm very curious about this.
I just hope that the fact that I have to wear a coat in July,
Right.
the hottest month, to scare off
Yeah,
monkeys.
to
I'm gonna be
scare
sweating
off
all day.
monkeys.
I have to wear my monkey scaring coat
You
to
have
the
to
beach.
wear your monkey scaring coat to the beach. Don't make eye contact. Back into the bushes. So,
Oh my God.
Joy is saying snack attack.
Monkeys. Monkeys in Japan.
My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
What a story.
do we want to say anything else about this story, or are we ready to move on to our next collection of
Man,
ridiculous?
I think our brains are full of that story.
Yeah.
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 Just thoughts and prayers. Just thoughts and prayers of the people of that of the being plagued by those monkeys. Like thoughts and prayers.
Tony, do you want to get us into our next story?
Oh, not at all, but it is my burden to bear. Warning, the next story is disgusting as hell. And I use the word story like so loosely. Oh my God. Whoever wrote this had like a word, I don't know, can't tell if it was a minimum or a maximum.
Oh my God.
All right. Astronauts warned not to masturbate in space as one session can impregnate 3 women. So, like, there's so many things that are disgusting about this headline. I don't like them. Astronauts have been warned. I don't like they've been warned. Like someone like they're like, that is how you talk to a child, not like our best and brightest. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't do it. Like they can't help themselves.
Right.
Where is it? Oh my God, I have so many tabs.
Right, but I
Astronauts
mean,
have been warned.
but
Wait, please,
in
continue.
defense of that, though, I assume that astronauts are like Maverick from Top Gun, like times whatever. Like he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. That's why they call him Maverick. So that's what I
You think
assume.
that's an astronaut?
Yeah.
They have to be like scientists and stuff, right?
But they're also going into space. Imagine the balls on a person who's willing to go to space. Like it's the.
I don't know.
It's like you got to have this kind of confidence that.
Well, the problem is that their balls in space are the problem.
Exactly. Anyway, continue.
Astronauts have been warned. They've been warned about pleasuring themselves in space after it was revealed a single solitary session. Their use of the word "session" is making my stomach turn.
Yeah.
Can accidentally impregnate female crew members. I'm glad they elaborated because when it just said 3 women, I thought it meant like somewhere on Earth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know how space works. I don't know how semen in space works. They don't either, apparently. But it's just like apparently the ejaculate can just float through space, and there's enough of it per session, according to the world's most disgusting scientists, to have these women who are up there, like astronauts who can get pregnant, will get pregnant. And this article is from the Irish Mirror. I don't know how reputable that is. I'm not Irish, but I will say they use the phrase that I never heard before. Self-pleasuring is banned in 0G amid fears any floating semen could lead female colleagues up the duff. Has anyone ever heard the term up the duff before?
Nope.
No. Chad, if you have, let us know.
It's the way Irish people, I guess, or just people at this publication talk about getting pregnant. If you're up the duff, you're pregnant.
Up the duff. What's a duff?
Oh, I didn't go any further. I
No,
was
that's
like,
okay,
enough
Tony.
Internet for today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair response.
I have so many problems with this, but Tony, it's your story. I will wait till.
Well, I'm just like, I just don't like. Okay, so speaking as someone who doesn't like being told what to do, I still really like this rule, and I think it's really important. And I think that these astronauts, if you are watching in space, I'm very sex positive. I am. But if you're an astronaut in space, I shouldn't even have to say this. Do I have to warn you a third time? Like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy. I don't know.
See,
if I was a female, if I could get pregnant, I wouldn't go into space with these masturbators.
But here's my...
I want chased astronauts in space.
Not that I disagree with you. I'm not going to say I disagree with you, but here's a problem that I have with it. It assumes, first of all, that the person who is pleasuring themselves is just freewheeling it when they're done. That they're just like letting it all go into the environment.
Outside the spacesuit, into the 0G,
right.
yeah.
Like you would assume that there's like when they pee into like a vacuum or something like that. Like you would assume that there is some sort of like device that would allow them to do that. And then you're also assuming that all of the ladies like in space are also just
free muffin it.
Yes, they're just
made that up. But
they're just running around bottomless, just being like, "Hey, I hope nothing goes in there."
Right. I did. These are some of the questions that I had about this story.
Right. That's a whole.
If you free muffin it too much, you might be up in the duff.
Tony, this is your story to present.
Stop calling it my story.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, this was your...
You did this, Tony.
This was your burden to... So this burden, somewhere in this burden, does it talk about how they first discovered this? Because...
Not once. Heather, excellent question. Heather, excellent question. The article pretty much ends at... There's not more. It like... To fill space, the writer who I'm going to... I'll fucking dox you, Andrew Jameson, like, who works for the Irish Mirror. He like, after he says like it's like that, so the duff line, and then after that it jumps to a bizarre conversation between like friends on it's like he cuts to a segment on Conan O'Brien's podcast where they talked about this for a second, and I'm like, this isn't news. How are we stopping the pregnant? Why do we stop the astronauts from getting pregnant?
Right.
And Dustin, to talk about the contraption.
Yes.
To maybe like harbor this, I think what the article, and I'm giving them a lot of leeway, is alluding to is that no matter what you do, no matter what, how diligent or careful or how many Kleenex you have, minimum you can get 3 astronauts pregnant.
Right. I don't.
You can maybe get it down to 1, but I think they're saying that sperm can fly in space, and I'm basing that on nothing because this is not a thorough article, but I think that's what they're saying.
Right, but they don't get magical powers in space, is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is they do.
They do. Like they can just.
They must.
But are there things that would block them? Like,
don't they also like? And again, this is very basic, can barely remember my sex ed at this point, but like, don't they die after a pretty quick amount of time if they like don't get into a place?
I guess not in space.
That's the thing. There's not enough research, so they're going up there. They're going up there.
What?
They're free muffining.
They're free muffining.
Masturbating
They're
into
just
the 0Gs.
Like, what is
like Woodstock
going on?
up there.
But to that point, like nobody's talking about the women who aren't wearing pants in space. Like that's
But
just
we
a
don't know if the
thing.
pants will help. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't know if the pants will help at all. It might go in the sleeves or the crevices.
Joy brings up a good point, because I think I have read this, that sperm is affected by gravity. No, but I think that's true.
Famously it
I
is.
think it is, right? Aren't the astronauts, or if like people do enough of those, like 0 G-force or something, they can like lose. God damn it, Michelle.
Man,
They can
this is
lose
making me
like
not that positive anymore.
yeah, no.
Oh my God, Michelle.
No. Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better than my title.
It's
Oh,
great.
I tried.
It's really good.
Oh, goddamn you. Michelle.
Oh my God, this story. This is another one I want to visit and find out more things about, such
Yeah.
as who did this research and why.
Right, but
What triggered this research? Did a lady go to space, come back from space, and go, well, that's weird?
I'm pregnant
Yeah.
now, and so are
This is
two of
strange.
my friends.
This is a strange. I like to think that they're friends.
I
like to
hope
think
so.
that the astronauts are friends with each
I
other.
hope so.
Something like this would come between me and my friends.
I mean, here's the thing. They're going to have to work on this. They're going to have to solve this because, sure, you can go up into space now and not do that. And I get that. But, like, we're going to do a mission to Mars. And when we do a mission to Mars, saying, hey, go to Mars, you're never going to come back because we don't have the technology for it. But also, you can't do that either. People are going to be like, no, fuck that. That is a step too far. Go figure this out. I need to solve this. So NASA should be working on how this can happen. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, we need a control group. I think we just need a control group. They just can't be like doing whatever happens up there.
Right, but I mean that means somebody's gonna have the job of like, hey, go touch yourself in space, and we want to see what happens.
I mean, that was another layer. Yes, Dustin, this was another layer of questions. Like, there were just questions upon questions. That was another layer of like, how are further research studies going to be done?
And this is gonna sound gross. Just make it all like dude astronauts up there, and like so no one can get pregnant.
Right, that's how it works.
Tony,
That's how it works.
Tony, but we know what Jurassic Park taught us. Life finds a way.
No, I don't. I hope it doesn't. I say I usually like a diverse workplace, but if everybody's jerking off up there, just make them all dudes.
You're like, I don't think I want to go to space.
Right, but, okay,
I'm just like,
but Tony, why can't they all be ladies? Why do they all have to be dudes?
honestly, you know what? I think I just learned something about myself, and I think I just unlearned a bias thanks to this news story.
There you go. There you
Good.
go.
I'm so concerned. What if we just don't put men in space because they're gross
Yeah.
and can't stop touching
Right.
themselves?
Right.
Or just we word it this way. We're only going to send people with uteruses up to space.
Or just no more space.
And we are ignoring the fact here that like this story basically means like women could do whatever the hell they want. Women could go to town because like
But except they're going to get pregnant.
yeah, all that is true.
no.
Yeah,
Right,
maybe
right.
that's when they're
And like, let's be real, we're in America right now, so not a great place to come back space pregnant, unexpectedly space pregnant.
Is space America?
Oh.
Is it technically America if you're in a
Oh
space?
no, it's not.
If you're in our space?
That's a good
I
point.
don't know.
I think we did a
is
story about
America.
that, didn't we? I feel like we did a story about that at some point. That like Canada was gonna like make the law or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly. All right, I think we've talked about this enough. Maybe.
Yep, Sonia, exactly.
What did Sonia say?
Sonia says the same thing. Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
It does. All right, let us move on to our third story. Let me bring up my notes. I should have done that while you guys were talking, but I'm bad at things. Where are my notes? Okay. So, our story starts as the way any story like this should, with a Florida man.
Yep.
Florida man in Madison County, Florida, went into a Waffle House. A guy by the name of Edward William Rodriguez, around 8 p.m., decided he was going to go into a Waffle House and rob it. And of course, he did the most logical thing. He brought his dog. Because, of course, when you're going to rob a Waffle House, you bring your dog, his tiny little dog. And he ran into the Waffle House screaming, "Get on the ground, y'all are getting robbed." And the way he robbed the people was with finger guns. He went in there and just said, like, "I'm robbing you all," and literally just had his fingers in the shape of a gun. And then screamed to everybody, "Hey, I'm high and drunk." Before grabbing some napkins and just walking out.
Appreciate the honesty.
So this amazing Edward William Rodriguez went into to recap, went into Waffle House with his dog, bearing no weapon other than finger guns, yelled to everybody that they were getting robbed, and took napkins that are free from a Waffle House, ran out, and got arrested. I don't know why he felt the need to tell everybody that he was high and drunk. I feel like that was implied.
I feel like at some point that feels like that moment when when you realize like, oh, I'm kind of drunk. I feel like he might have had that moment of breakthrough where he was mid finger gun napkin stealing, and his brain just went, "You drunk," and that's why he was like, "I'm high and drunk."
Everybody needs to know this.
Everybody
generous. That is so generous of you to give him that. I think he saw the looks on everyone's faces and like tried to get and then was like, oh yeah. And he like wanted to get ahead of it or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just it was evident, I'm sure, once he walks in there with the fingers. Interesting. That's an interesting point, Sonia. I don't see the controversy. I actually was gonna ask Dustin, was this a crime?
Yes, it was.
How though?
Because he still tried to rob them. He still by virtue of saying I'm robbing y'all, that essentially makes it an unarmed robbery. Even though the thing he stole was free, but they determined it was robbery. They figured out who he was based on surveillance cameras and eyewitness testimony. And I don't know how convicted he got. I think this happened very recently, so I think he's still awaiting trial. I don't imagine he'll do a lot of time for taking a free thing, but
right. I feel like it's just going to be disorderly conduct or something. Because like at worst, you might have scared some people who were now going to think that they might get shot. But ultimately, you had no real weapons. You stole nothing that was actually like stealable of value. Like it had no monetary value.
He did scare a bunch of people into thinking they were going to get shot for a second.
That's the part.
I think that's pretty close to a crime.
That's the part.
Definitely crime adjacent.
I think there's definitely a crime involved with that. Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking on it now.
Yeah.
So, Sonia, I guess that's the controversy. A restaurant full of people thinking they were about to die.
Yeah.
Right. It depends on like if you saw him and saw that he had finger guns, then you might go like, oh, okay, I'm good. Like in my mind, this whole thing happened. He ran in, did like, hey, everybody, I'm robbing you, and then left, and everybody just, like, immediately went back to eating their food. Like, nobody referenced it. Like, you're like, that's how I picture it. Because it's, remember,
that's
guys.
in New York. That feels like
Florida,
that's a New York Waffle House. If there was a Waffle House in New York.
And I've also seen real guns at Waffle House. I've seen people bring actual guns into Waffle Houses. So it's like,
that's pretty.
Maybe he had shiny metallic hands.
Oh, wow.
Might have looked like guns.
Wow.
The thing, too, was like from the way from the interview that they did with him, it sounded like he had just intended to go in there and get napkins to begin with, and then made like a split-second decision to say that he was robbing everybody.
The drunken high part, yeah.
The drunken high part. And then also didn't rob everybody. Like, why make the split-second decision and then not do it? Like, that's, I think, very, like, there's no upside.
Comedy's hard. Maybe he thought it'd be funny. Maybe that's like, I'm gonna make them think they're getting robbed.
Maybe he was waiting for someone to stand up and just go, "Excuse me, that's not a gun. That's a gun," and get into that whole back and forth.
Whoa! He was trying to get into a Crocodile Dundee standoff at the Florida Waffle House.
In the middle of a Waffle House.
I do appreciate that the chat is bringing up the dog part of it too, because like he brought it, like who brings their pet to a robbery? I don't think that that's a thing that people do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, unless the dog's in on it, unless the dog's the mastermind. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, the dog was like, "I want some napkins. Get me those napkins."
Yeah. Watch, it's like a little Pomeranian, like in a sweater.
I do like Keith's comment is this is the most wholesome thing that ever happened in a Waffle House.
In a Waffle House, yeah.
Yeah, it probably is. You're right.
This Waffle House.
Okay. Anything else on this, or do we want to get into our?
No, this story's wild though.
Or what the fact?
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. That's like the theme of all these stories today. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no thoughts or prayers in space.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Oh wait. Talk amongst yourselves while I figure out how to. I'll just leave that alone. Guys, we're gonna move on to what the fact. I have a new what the fact graphic So get ready for a new graphic. It's are you ready? So that we can see each other a little bit bigger, and the facts go in the middle, which brings us to our first what the fact question, which is who is the only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle whose name 100% matches the artist who it was named after? Is it Michelangelo, Leonardo, or Raphael? I only have 3 options, so I didn't include Donatello, but Donatello would be wrong if you were going to guess. So, Tony, I will go to you first. Which is
graphics.
I'm saying I made
I
look at me. I did graphics.
I'm a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was positive it was Donatello.
You were positive Donatello?
I was positive. And now that it's not, I'm going to say B. Leonardo. He's the leader.
Why?
I just think I just can't think of too many other ways to spell Leonardo. And like Raphael, you could throw an F in there. Michelangelo is a whole mess of letters and, a lot of consonants in that one, a lot of vowels. So I'm like, there's a lot of room for play. I'm going to say Leonardo is probably the most streamlined version. Why change it so much?
Okay. Heather, what do you think?
I think it might. I don't know. I'm going to go with Michelangelo. Because I think that's how it's spelled.
Okay.
But I also don't know what the trick of this question is because I thought that's how Leonardo was also spelled.
Mm-hmm. In chat, it looks like we have a Raphael and a Michelangelo.
We have a Michelangelo. We have a
Okay. The actual answer, because I mean, there's no actual trick to this. But the actual answer is in fact Leonardo, because Leonardo's full name is just Leonardo.
Just Leonardo. That's what it is.
We call him Da Vinci, but Da Vinci just means of Vinci.
Oh,
it doesn't,
Leonardo of it. Oh, okay.
Right. So all the other people have last names, but Leonardo was actually born just Leonardo. Eventually, he took his dad's name for a little while. He took Da Vinci for a little while. When he traveled outside of the area, he took of Florence, so De Florencia or whatever it was. But his name is Leonardo. All the other people, like Raphael, is called Raphael, but the actual artist is Raphael. Blah 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 blah. Same thing with all of them. All of them have last names. Leonardo is the only person without a last name, and therefore the only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that actually matches the artist that is associated with him.
What about Splinter?
Splinter has a last name too, but Splinter was a human, I think, at one point. So or something along those lines. Oh yeah. I don't know his.
Yes, he was a human.
His name probably wasn't Splinter when he was a human, though, right?
It wasn't.
But it was something.
It wasn't. I forget what it was, but
Sonia mentioning it should be an honorable mention for Donatello, who's the best turtle. Agreed, especially in the game. In the game, his
because you could throw things with his thing.
All right, question number 2. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I can talk about TMNT all day, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
What is unique about George Washington's military rank? Is it that he was the only person with the title Super General? Is it that his actual title was Duke, but we call him by the contemporary General because people didn't want to use Duke? Or was it that by law his rank must always be the highest, past, present, and future? Heather, I'll go to you first on this one.
I don't have any idea what the correct answer for this is, so I'm just gonna take a guess that it's B.
Okay.
Because that feels sort of old-timey, like it was actually Duke Washington.
Yeah. That should say called Duke. I
You get it. I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time working on this graphic and I blew it.
It looks great. It's a good graphic.
So you're gonna go with B. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony?
I'm gonna say I think Washington, and I only saw Hamilton once. Was like he didn't want to be the king or whatever, so I'm gonna eliminate C.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Super General because that sounds the coolest to me.
It is the coolest.
That does sound very cool.
The actual answer, chat. I see a B in chat.
Joy said B. That's the only guess we had so far.
The actual answer is C.
Ooh.
Whoa!
And this wasn't his doing. It was something that happened after he died, but they decided he should always be the highest ranking person. So when they went from 3 to 4-star generals, he got promoted every time. So he is now technically the only 6-star general because there are a couple of 5-star generals. And if there's ever a 6-star general, he becomes a 7-star general. So George Washington will always be the highest ranked person that ever existed in the military thanks to this law.
Wow.
I can't believe how sentimental the U.S. military is.
Yeah.
They're
Right?
like, but he's daddy.
He's
He
daddy.
has to be the best. Daddy gets the
Has to have
biggest
the
piece of chicken.
highest. Yeah.
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 It's so silly.
But confusing and weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, here's the third one. I feel like the third one is gonna make it's gonna make some people. I don't know. We'll get there and we'll go for it. In Milan, Italy, which of the following things are you required to do at all times? By law, you're required to do
I
this.
wish my coworker were
Are you
here.
required to A, smile, except for at funerals? B, breathe, except if you're unable to? Or C, know where your goats are? One of these is a thing that you're required to do at all times. Tony, I'm gonna go with you first. What do you think?
I've never heard of like Milan having an issue with like, just random goats everywhere.
Yeah,
So-
because people know where they are, Tony.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna be like, all the goats that I can think of in Milan are very well tended to and watched, like the helicopter Milanians.
We got a C from Joy. Joy agrees with you as well. Yeah, we got a couple different answers. Heather, what do you think?
I'm also gonna go with C because I feel like I can make logic out of C. Because like if you own goats or you have goats, I could see it being a law. Like if you have goats, you must know where your goats are at all times. You can't have unattended goats. You can't have goats wandering around. Goats could like start biting children and the elderly. You got to be careful. B just seems so absurd. It could be A. I could see it being A where it's like everyone's happy, but I'm gonna say C. If you have goats, you better know where those goats are.
Okay. Well, I think C is probably important. I agree with you guys, but the actual answer is
Oh
A.
no!
Damn.
Smile, except
Joy
for at
just said,
funerals.
"Don't tell her when to smile."
Yep. That's why I was starting to say, like, I feel like this answer is going to make people mad. Because anytime somebody says, hey, you should smile more, and by law, you should smile more, but in Milan, it is a requirement.
Michelle, I was just thinking that.
Right?
I was just thinking that. It's like,
Yep.
oh my god, those dramatic footage of like a goat under a bridge.
Just a goat. Yeah.
So that's our What the Facts for today. Weird. Yep. Joy saying, yep. Mad. Which I understand. I warned you it was going to make you mad. And I was right. So let us get into our Would You Rathers.
All right. What do we got? Let's see.
Heather, do you want to?
Yes, I do.
You want to kick us off?
Yes, I do. Let me get it. Okay, here we go. Would you rather? Right. I like the way this is worded. Have a different medium nightmare every night, or always dream you're sitting alone in an empty room by yourself. Tony, I always go to the ghost. What? What?
Tony's been a ghost.
What am I saying?
Talk about a medium nightmare.
Oh my god. I always go to the guest first. So Tony, please.
Oh, are we allowed to ask questions? Because I have my first question is, what is a medium nightmare?
I don't have an. Okay, so wait. Dustin always says if you're the person presenting, it's your question. Therefore, I'm going to say a medium nightmare is a thing that's not like jumping off a cliff, being shot to death, like really horrific. It's like something mid-range that like you'll wake up in a sweat, you'll hate that you had the dream. It's unpleasant, but like it's not going to mess you up so much. I don't know what a small nightmare is, which is the other part of this question, but you know what? We're just going to that's what I think a medium nightmare is.
I like Keith's answer in chat. A bunch of computer who's beating you up. That's Long Island medium. Who I think there's like a small chance that she's related to somebody I went to high school with. I don't know. I don't know how many people are named Computo that live in Long Island. Probably a lot more than I give credit for. But excellent answer. Tony, what are you thinking?
I think, man, the monotony would get me. But it would be nice. Sometimes I want something monotonous. And I actually, you know what? I think I would prefer over what I have now dream to be alone in an empty room every night. I could get some reading done or something. You know what I mean? It has some time to myself.
Now? What did
I
your
would
dreams
meditate. I have I would say medium nightmares pretty frequently.
Really?
So yeah, so if I could just get to a nice little quiet space, maybe cross my legs, maybe do some meditation, maybe I do mind yoga, maybe I'll be more refreshed in the morning. So I'm going to go B, Leonardo.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Alone in a room, final answer.
All right, Dustin, what about you?
I'm going with medium nightmare as well, just because I'm not just as well in opposition to Tony, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think that just the idea of in a dream just sitting alone in a room would be so boring night after night. So I think the variety of having the nightmare would be greater than the same thing over and over again. I feel like eventually if I knew that I was going to have a nightmare over and over again, I would try and figure out that how you control your dream thing and eventually become the Neo of my dreams.
What if you can't though? What if you can't and you just continue to have medium nightmares? Does that change it?
No, I think I'd still stick with it because I think I just think it'd be so boring to just sit in a room by yourself all the time. I like Tony's idea of meditating, but I don't know if you can meditate in your dreams. It feels like a step too far.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with, I guess, choice A in this. What about you, Heather?
I'm absolutely 100% going with alone in an empty room. I will say, I think that this question is probably going to be very affected by how you feel about the concept of being alone in an empty room. I see people in the chat. Sonia is saying that's a nightmare. That's a medium nightmare to her. And I think that definitely depends. If you think to yourself that is hell, I hate that. Right. Why would you want to dream about that? To me, that doesn't bother me. I think sleep, I want sleep to be peaceful and restorative. So to me, sitting alone in an empty room, cool, it's peaceful. No one's bothering me. No one's trying to throw things at me or whatever a medium nightmare would be. But so to me, that's good.
But remember how we were all trapped in our houses during the pandemic the whole time and we were all going nuts? Imagine that.
Not all of us went nuts.
Okay. Well, I was going nuts.
Some of us liked it. Some of us discovered we were more introverted than we thought we were.
Okay. Well, then you look. Then go you. Then you
And I'm alone in the room right now, and I'm having a great time.
Right?
I'm having a great time with my friends alone in an empty room.
I get home. I know. No, Sonia. I know. Sonia is the room is empty. No, I recognize that the room is empty and that presents a thing. There's nothing to touch or do. But I think in the instance of sleep, I'm cool with that. Because I can just, yeah, I don't know. I find that peaceful. It doesn't freak me out. This would change to Sonia's point. If it were live in an empty room alone, that's different. But for sleep, I'm okay with it for sleep.
Okay. I think you'd go nuts. I think you'd go friggin' insane. But
Nah.
But it's your would you rather.
Nah.
So I won't.
Tony and I are on the
Okay.
we're on the empty room. Joy is with us too about the empty room. So we have 3 empty room and we have 2 medium nightmare.
All right. Tony, your turn.
It's the next. Would you rather to test your spirit? This one's a little saucy. Would you rather watch your best friends have sex? I assume with each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No, in space.
I mean, it's your question.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you have 2 best friends, you love them to death, and they're going to have sex with each other, and you're going to watch. Or watch someone you don't know get beat up. And they were going to get beat up anyway. There's a clarifying parentheses after.
Right. You're not making them get beat up. They were going to get beat up. It's just a question of you're watching.
Yeah. And I'll jump ahead. Your best friends were going to have sex anyway as well.
Right.
They were gonna get there. So your voyeurism isn't affecting reality. You just get a front row seat.
Yeah. All right. Who do you want to pass it to?
Man, oh man, Dustin. Dustin, I think I'm gonna go to you first. You're gonna put you in the hot seat.
Yeah, to punish me for coming up with the question. I'm gonna go with watch your best friends have sex, which it would definitely affect the way you look at them all of the time. But if you've ever seen a physical altercation in person where it wasn't 2 people who were kind of had it coming. Like two people who were just like wanting to fight, but like one person who like didn't want to fight and have it go bad. That'll PTSD you. So as much as like it would wig me out to see like people who I am very good friends with like doing it, because then like that's a thing that at some point we'd probably make eye contact and it'd be weird and we'd always have like, that weirdness.
I will say that if you want, they don't have to. No, sorry, they'll know that you are watching them, but they won't know like where you are. You could be in the closet, you could be like behind like a painting with like holes cut out. Do you know what I mean? So like they'll know you're watching somehow, but like it's not like you're like a present in the room. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but wouldn't that be so much more distracting if you're having sex to like, if somebody said to you like, hey, the next time you're having sex, a person...
Where do you think Dustin is?
Yeah, he's here somewhere, but you just don't know where.
Hey, we've got a gift for you. It's this really beautiful portrait. Hey, why are the eyes cut out? Don't ask questions.
Right, like as much
we
as
put the portrait in the room first.
Yeah, it was just there. Oh, this apartment is so nice. What a deal, too. Wow, why is it not so expensive? Oh, we have to live with this portrait. Okay.
Yeah. As much as you try and get into it, you'd always have that feeling of just like,
Follow you.
But still, I'm gonna go with watching them have sex, because I feel like that is less upsetting overall.
Of course. Yeah. I definitely see your side of it. Heather, I will pass the same question, unfortunately, to you.
I appreciate the unfortunateness of it. Yeah.
Fun.
I hate this question. I hate it because here's the thing. I am completely sex positive. Please enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Be careful. I don't want to know what you do. I have no problems with what anyone does. I don't want to know. And I don't want to know what my friends are doing. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to like later on make eye contact with them, because in the back of my mind, it's always going to be like, you did.
Would it help if it were just like vanilla, like doing?
No.
Yeah, it was.
No.
I'll say maybe not vanilla, but you weren't surprised once. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you were like, could have called everything.
You're
that
like,
happened.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that coming. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So like so afterwards, you're like, okay, if like on my wildest imaginative day, like I could have seen this coming.
Yeah.
So you're still pretty steady-footed afterwards.
I'm still saying I'm still leaning towards. So I'm gonna say, I do not want to watch. I hate violence. I hate seeing people get hurt. I hate when it's on TVs and movies and stuff. I don't like it. But I think I gotta go with watch a stranger get beat up, because there's no, for me, emotional connection. Like, it will bother me, and I will still, my monitor's gone. Bye, everybody. Oh, I'm back. It will bother me, and I will, like, it will play in my mind, and I'll think about it. But I don't know, there's just something so different than, like, my best friends, and now I'm just, like, I just know. I know, I've seen it. Yeah. I've heard it. I've watched it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You don't think there's any chance you'd be like, go, guys. Like, you're killing it.
No. I'm sure I'd be like, yeah, good for you, but, like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
No.
Understandable. And I think the Stranger Thing is huge, you know?
Right.
Stranger Things.
Right. Stranger Things. What?
No, but I understand that, like, having it to be two strangers, it's a different kind of therapy session at the end of the day.
Yes, Tony, that's a beautiful way to put that. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, and I'm more comfortable with the stranger therapy. Right, which I'm sure says plenty about what a fucked up person I am, and that's fine.
We're all something.
Yeah, we're all something. Exactly. Joy, Dustin, Joy says you would be a cheerleader.
I would. I mean,
I actually, knowing you, I think you would in fact be. You'd be like, all right, guys, yeah.
I mean,
but I could also see a world where Dustin is like, I wouldn't have done that. But it's just like very deadpan. You just hear Dustin from behind the portrait with the eyes cut out. And you just hear, oh, really? I wouldn't have done that.
I'm not
gonna comment. You're gonna who are those Muppets? You're gonna Muppets them? Those old cranky Muppets.
Statler and Waldorf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yes.
I mean, I'd probably be someone like, okay, if that's the way you want to go.
Right.
That's the way you want to go. It's so
exactly.
passive-aggressive.
That's
You might as well
exactly.
just scream like bad sex at
That's
your friend.
exactly. I could just Dustin is just behind the portrait, and that's exactly what he says. He's like,
The mouth is cut
Oh, is
out
that the way you
too.
wanna go?
It's like
Right.
so they can talk.
If anybody,
Oh my
if anybody
God.
knows me from sketch, you'd be like, all right, we're gonna start this over. All right, this time you're gonna be here and you're gonna be here. All right, and think about this. Go. Like,
is that the way you want to go?
it'd be great for them. I think.
Okay, let's take that again.
Yes.
So obviously semen is affected by gravity.
Yeah.
We're finding out.
All right, everybody back to one.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
My goodness.
Wow, really, dude. Really, waste of a good shot. Do you know how many space
Oh my-
people could have been pregnant from that?
3 exactly.
3. Exactly 3.
No more, no less.
For those at home, when I'm watching this, I have a small little indicator in the bottom corner of my screen as to how many people are watching, and I always find it hilarious when a number when the number goes up when we're in the middle of like we're talking about something that's gonna make no fucking sense to the people who joined. So whoever you are that joined, thank you. We're talking about our best friends having sex.
And Dustin
rather?
hiding behind a portrait with the eyes cut out, and what comments he would make, and
Right.
whether or not he
Yes.
would cheer them on or
I
judge
just
them.
think the first time you watch your best friends have sex, it should be special.
It should.
You light
It
a
should mean
candle, have a
something.
little glass of
I mean,
wine,
It's not the be all end all, but it is like it's a milestone in people's lives, you
Right.
know?
watching a stranger get beat up. You know, you gotta like
Yeah.
crack a
thinking-
beer.
Right. I guess the question is like so if you had to make the choice, there was a comment there that's probably bad for me.
It says picturing Dustin saying "ram ram" very deadpan.
That was from a sketch that God. Okay, so if you had to watch them, I'm assuming that both of you would choose to no communication beforehand, kind of thing, like hiding in the closet, as opposed to like, hey, we're all gonna get together, we're all gonna talk
Well,
about it
that's just an
beforehand.
orgy then.
No, because
Oh,
you're
no,
not involved.
I'm
Because you're not
I'm doing
involved.
session 0, and I'm gonna have a session 0 beforehand. Like I'm also gonna pick watch my best friends have sex, and I'm gonna watch my friend Rory. There's my best friend Rory, and probably because best friend is a tier. You know, it's a tier. It's not a person. So I'm probably gonna throw Rory and then maybe my cousin Frank in there. My cousin Frank, who I really love, and then I guess they'll have sex. And they've met before, so it might be weird.
Hopefully they're watching. I really hope that they're watching.
They follow me on Instagram. They're all having fun. We're all having fun. I think I'd watch them, and I think at the end of the day, I'd be like, it's my cousin though. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I'll sub him out. You know what? I don't want to watch somebody get beat up. I'm gonna watch all my 10 best friends have sex with each other, and I'm just watching. Then I'll feel left out.
Right. At that point, you're like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
Make it an orgy. There you
Yeah.
No, I'll be right next to Dustin behind the painting.
go. Nice.
Do we want to move on to our third?
Yes, I think
Yes,
we're ready.
please.
Jeez. All right.
I do love the idea of the painting though.
Our last question. Assuming that you're going to get fined for one of these two things, knowing you who you are, would you rather get fined every time you say a curse word? Would you rather get fined every time you say the word like? Tony, I will go to you first. I don't know if you have the same like problem or the same cursing problem that I have, but I've been beating myself up about this question pretty bad.
So I would definitely pick. I'd like to go back and forth, but I just said like I say like all the time, because I like stuff, and also sometimes you're like it's like this. I love simile, so I definitely will get the fine with cursing. I think I'd fuck up big for a while, but then after a while I would find a groove, and maybe I'll find a more creative use of it. I'll have to get a thesaurus, so maybe I'll like learn some new words. That might be fun. And also I've said all the curses I want to say.
I said all the curses I want to say.
I've said them all at least once, the ones I want to say. I know what they sound like.
Spoken like a man on their deathbed who's like, I just need you to know I've said all the curses I want to say.
I have no curse regrets.
I have no curse regrets.
Cursed the right amount.
Oh my god.
All right. Heather, what about you?
I think I know the answer to this pretty easily, but I do have a clarifying question.
Okay.
Is it using like as like the speech holder, as like the stammering thing where people are like, it's like this, it's like that, it's like that. Not like saying, I really like it when you watch me from behind the painting. Like,
I knew it.
The ears are also cut out so you can hear.
yeah. So is it that usage of like?
Yes, it's just the word like in general.
Great. So I already thought that I was going to go with this, but yeah, I would rather get fined for that.
Would you rather get fined for like?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 reasons. 1, I enjoy cursing far too much, which I believe Joy said almost the exact same thing. Yeah, Joy said, I'll go with like because I want to swear freely. I agree, Joy. I enjoy cursing far too much. And especially a well-placed curse. I love it. I love that use of language. I think it's colorful. I think it's fun. I don't want that taken away from me. I don't want to get fined every time I curse. Also, when I went to school, in elementary school, we had usage of the word like pretty beat out of us. Not physically beat, just beaten into our heads. So I feel like I'll be fine.
Okay.
But imagine the satisfaction you would get. You haven't cursed in a year, right?
And then you finally get to.
And then you finally be like, fuck you. And then you have to take your wallet out and give somebody like $10.
or it means
you'll be like, I bought that one. It means a lot.
I mean, that's true. It also makes the cursing a little bit more, a little bit more.
I'm
like,
gonna use it.
It's got a real punch. Yeah.
Get the checkbook ready, honey.
Get the checkbook ready, because I'm paying you in fucks.
Right. That's to some degree the reason that the question isn't, would you rather get rid of cursing or get rid of the word like? It's fine, because it still means that you can do it. If
right,
you want
but there's
to
just
do
a
it.
monetary consequence.
You just pay for it, which is...
Yeah.
So you're going to go...
I'm still going with like.
Okay,
I'd
you're
rather
going
get
with
fined for like, yeah.
I'm going to go with fine for cursing because, like, business has made it so that, like, I can't
not hear it now.
What's that?
I can't not hear it.
Right. That, like, I just say like all the time. I hate the fact that I say like all the time, but I say like all the time. Cursing, I've managed to figure out ways to tone down. Now, admittedly, when I get more comfortable at work and when I'm talking to people that I know pretty well, I will curse very freely after we've established that that is okay. But I can't help saying like, I say it all the time, no matter what I do. I would be bankrupt if I got fined every time I said like. I think I could make cursing work. So I'm going to go with fine for cursing.
Sonia says you say like all the time.
I do say like all the time. I know I say like all the time. I just confess to saying like all the time.
So do I. It's like a habit.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's our last question, guys.
Oh no. Yay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should have mentioned this a bunch of times, and I built a graphic
Look
for it.
at what we have to do now. Will we get fined if we do this?
To watch
the thing in the text.
That like and subscribe. No, you will get rewarded by finding you. We will get rewarded if you like and subscribe. Oh, like you will get rewarded if you like and subscribe because more people will know about our show and you will know about when new episodes come out, even though they come out every Monday. But you're still gonna want to get a reminder because people forget Mondays. So please take a moment to like and subscribe. It would mean a ton to us. A ton. That's our show, guys. Thank you so much for being part of it. Tony, you were amazing. Where can people find out more about what you got going on?
Oh, well, thank you so much. It was a delight to be here. And thank you to everyone in the chat for, making me laugh. That was great. Anyways, if you're in the Los Angeles area and you like improv comedy or you like stand-up comedy and you want to go to and see me do it, oh, look down there. You can see Snoop improv. That's what I was going to say. And on, if you're in person, if you're not in the Los Angeles area and you like a silly comedian who makes videos who he thinks is funny and hopefully you think they're funny too, you can follow me at Tony DeFeo on TikTok.
Yep.
And thank you. And yeah, it's very, very silly. Yeah, it's very fun and hopefully I make you laugh.
Cool. Heather, what do you got going on? What do you got coming up?
Friday we are doing Shot for Shot Wicked at Young Ethel's, so I will be doing that. I believe it's at 7:30 out in Brooklyn. That is all I have this week, and then we'll have some exciting exciting red shirt stuff coming up this month.
Nice. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for not having her for that.
How dare
I
you?
let you down.
What? It's
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
Cool. And then for me, I don't have anything major coming up this week, but as always, please follow us on Instagram, super important stuff. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at DD.O at Instagram. I generally just post about when I go on vacations and I don't have one planned. So, but still, I promise not to spam you with things as much as I do on super important stuff. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Tony, thank you so much for being part of our show. You were amazing. It was great having you.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Heather, for having me.
Yeah.
And
New York misses you, Tony.
Yes,
Oh,
come back.
on. I miss
We
New
miss you a
York.
lot. Yeah.
And thank you guys all so much for watching. And we will be back here next Monday with more fun goodness. See you later.
Bye, everybody.